they stay on them, right?
Well, part of what it is they just have a symbiotic relationship. So the sloth moth lays eggs all over the sloths, gets the excrement all over it, and then when the sloth grooms itself, they digest all that, and they process their food through a bacterial process. If they didn't have that bacteria, they can't eat. So sometimes people like to yank sloths out of the jungle and just see if they can have them survive, and they don't, because it takes them about a month to process the food that's in their stomach, and when they run out of bacteria.
Whoa. So then you.
Yeah. So what we do is, so they get that start where they're an infant, right? And are you okay?
Yeah.
She likes to get a little nosy sometimes.
She's ticklish.
Yeah. There you go.
You want my food, that's what it is.
They don't know that a finger's a finger.
Yeah.
They think that you're handing her
They
a
don't
piece of
see
squash.
very well, do they?
They have monorod chromacy. They see in black and white, and they have horrible field of vision. So they're almost blind. So they rely on their sense of smell. So that's the reason sometimes she's wiggling that nose everywhere. So this is going to be your job, sir.
Oh, okay.
We're going to feed her these. I'm just breaking them up. So
What is it?
squash.
Squash? Okay.
Yep. It's squish squash.
Okay.
And then just as soon as it goes in there,
Get your hand back.
I get you in back. She ain't crazy, but we ain't trying to tempt fate either, right? There you go. Once she smells it, then she's golden.
Look at that. You are a squash person, aren't you?
Oh, got a hand out.
Yeah, try to help you along.
Alright, hang on. That's not a picture.
Let her try to get all the way through one,
Yeah.
even if it, because if not, it'll all be gone. She's got. It's funny that our sloth doesn't chill.
Get it down there. 2 fingers.
Yep.
The 3-fingered or the 3-toed sloth, the reason you don't see too many of those in the U.S. or North America is they require the leaves of the sarcopia tree, which does not natively grow in North America. They're trying a couple places to start growing some groves, but their diet has to be much more specific than the
He's
2-toed.
really using that claw. Give me that dead blank thing. I'm sorry, she.
You're not this tender this long.
We put a tutu on her and everything for her birthday.
Did you? Oh, that'd be fun. I'm sure she didn't like it.
You're not giving up on that, are you?
No, she obviously likes squash.
Alright, just a little bit more. Almost done. This is the last one.
Let her finish one for us.
Give it here. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see that or not with my
Yeah, you can give her some more spinach. Sometimes though, she was like, nah.
She obviously likes squash better than
Oh, 100% better. Because for a while, that's all not all she got, but that was the majority for snacks was spinach. And then once we started feeding her bigger and bigger
sorry.
squash.
There's nothing left. There's nothing left. Eating my finger.
Yeah, she's just holding on.
Let's see. Whoops. Get my ear.
Yeah, too close to her head, she starts to get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So she's not actually.
Not
She's
like-
actually saying get
Oh,
away.
yeah,
and
that's-
She's like, either feed me or stop.
Go away, yes.
Okay. All right.
Feed me or go away.
And a lot of times she'll just kind of ball up in a circle. That's what she's probably going to do there.
This is our post snack nap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And a lot of times if you just pet her really slow and say, Zoe.
Damn, is that food for us? Just hay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the little fillings, the shavings from out there. He's got a whole thing of food that he gets to eat all day. And we even bury grubs and different things like that in that box that you see there with the dirt.
Yeah.
That way he can just do the same thing that he'd do out in the wild.
So in other words, sometimes you'll put him in there.
That's where he lives.
Oh, he stays in there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It just, I'm like, hey, I'd want to run around too, you know? Like,
So everybody here must really love animals.
I hope so.
Do you own the place?
No, sir. John and Donna own the place. I live about 10 miles away.
Oh, okay. So this works out great for you then, doesn't
It does. I have an 8-year-old daughter who loves animals.
Yeah.
So I think she's in heaven. I came on initially just to help with social media because they had 2,500 people on Facebook and that was it. So now we have 160,000 on each. So we're getting there and just try to help out with logistics and we're doing some llama trekking. We're getting ready to get certified for. To be able to go out there and hike with a llama. So this guy here. So this outside, you can go ahead and touch it. See how it's kind of warm? So here's a mammal, and this shell right here is called his carapace. You want to touch it? That shell is called his carapace. So it's made of the same material as like your hair and nails,
Oh, okay.
and it's which is keratin. You can see balls all the way up. That's his head. That's his tail. And then what he does to kind of play like a defense trick.
That is neat.
It's cool, isn't
Yeah.
it? Is if someone keeps trying to get him, keep trying. He'll kind of open up a little bit, let him get a finger and something in, snap it shut. And it's like a car door. So if you're ever holding one, don't let your fingers roll in there, because we ain't
So
gonna
when
hurt.
he snaps it, it's really tight.
It's like a car door. John's gotten it a couple times, and
Really?
you gotta sit there and wait until he goes,
Wow.
yep, here.
And so you just let him down and he opens back up and walks away.
Oh yeah.
He's proved his point.
I just don't know how they don't get dizzy. You know, rolling around all the time.
Do they roll around or what? Is
I
that
mean, like,
part
so
of
if something's attacking them and it's big, you know that when it's balled up, they're getting knocked every which way. He's right here, see him? He's still
it? Is he still rolled?
Yeah. in the
He's
after
still
while,
rolled up.
just pops right back out.
It's bad enough. I'm getting back up. Yeah. Gosh, it's weird.
I need a hug me.
Oh, okay. Let me get a picture of you with a hug. Here we go. Hugging a sloth. This is all we wanted for our birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's it.
I work for an animal shelter, so I just wanted different animals to hug.
Yeah. I went down to one in Eastridge and just made a bunch of videos for them. I was like, these videos are a lot better. I was like, people will click on them and then come help y'all out. So I went down there a couple times. I was like, maybe just make a bunch of videos of all these cool dogs.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Social media is everything when you're trying to get dogs and cats and dogs.
Yep.
And fundraising, that's what I do, fundraising.
It 100% is. And you get to see the silly side of society on social media. Because people say some silliness.
Yeah.
I'm always like, they need a hug.
Stupid stuff.
Like,
Need a hug.
well, my favorite is when you show an animal when you rescued it. You didn't take the animal to the vet, did you?
Yeah.
Well, no, we just let it sit here. What are you doing? Am I going too high? Okay.
Oh, sick. Oh.
Yeah, don't do the fingernails.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, he opened his mouth like, I believe we need to
Yeah,
do
just,
something.
yeah, perfect.
There
It's
we go.
not, there you go. Yeah, anything like with the scrunch of the nails, they're like, nope, stop, don't do that.
Huh.
Interesting.
And usually even when we have flash, I've started telling people just use the back of your hand, because then that way you can't have the urge to do it. How's it going?
Good.
Good. We went over a little bit. It's coming up towards the end part of hers. We looked at Baku. Kind of smattering everywhere. Zoe is eating some spinach. There's not much squash left.
Okay.
No, we ate a lot of stuff.
We did eat a lot.
Zoe is a chow hound. Zoe is only 17 months old and she is already her full adult mass. And I'm a little bit scared because I heard somebody else has one that is related to her that weighs 40 pounds.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm going to need a back brace if this sloth gets to be 40 pounds. But Zoe is obviously a two-fingered Linnaeus sloth. We already talked about that?
Yeah, we've kind of went around a little bit, but not a huge amount of stuff. Are you good?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
So sloths are famously slow, but what makes a sloth slow starts from their diet. They eat in the wild. They eat almost exclusively leaves. Leaves are very low in nutritional value, very low in caloric content. So they eat a tremendous amount of them, but they get very little nourishment from them. So the sloth's energy budget consequently is low. So low, in fact, that a sloth cannot maintain its body temperature. A sloth's core body temperature can be 19 degrees Fahrenheit less in the night than it is in the day. So if that was me, that would be me dropping from 98.6 down to 80. And obviously the coroner might be interested in that, but nobody else would. And the sloth also can only make milk for its babies for about 3 to 6 weeks, and that's all. Most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their young. Sloths just produce, deliver. There is no store. They cannot store milk because they don't have the energy budget to produce something they don't immediately need.
That makes sense.
Sloths don't shed. They even to the extent that a human sheds. They do not shed. A human loses, 20, 30 hairs a day, and God willing grows them back. Maybe not, but a sloth does not shed even to the extent that a human does, because growing hair is another form of energy expenditure. And sloths are occupying a niche in the food chain where they are eating the leaves at the ends of the trees that nothing else eats. So, basically they're converting the leaves back to waste, back to nourishing the rainforest. So they eat really low quality food, but a tremendous amount of it, 10% of their body weight every single day. So yeah, put that to human perspective. I weigh 180. That is me eating 18 pounds of food a day. Rolling into Outback and saying, bring me 18 of those 16-ounce porterhouse steaks. Or hitting the Golden Arches and saying, bring me about 70, 80 of those quarter pounders, because that's what I'm hungry for today and every other day. When they do eventually relieve themselves, they are going to eliminate 1/3 of their total body mass. They only go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times per month, but when they do, it's epic. So again, to human perspective, that's me, starting from my natural body weight of 180, and eat, then eat some more, until I got to 240, and then boom, all the way back to 180 in 2 or 3 minutes. So that's dropping off 60 pounds in 2 or 3 minutes. Bag of dog food in a 5-gallon bucket in 2 or 3 minutes. When the sloth is in the top of the tree, it's safe. Snakes hunt by smell and temperature gradient. The sloth doesn't have, its body temperature is what the outside air temperature is. They have no temperature, and a sloth has no smell. They have invisible to a snake, yeah. They have no musk gland, scent gland, sweat gland, none of it. So there is no smell to a sloth. So for a snake to find a sloth would be nothing but pure dumb luck or coincidence.
Okay.
A cat cannot get to a sloth because the sloth weighs only 15 pounds unless she keeps eating like she is. And the cat, large enough to threaten its life, is going to weigh more like 50. The sloth is on the bottom of the branch. His eyes have a structure called rod monochromacy, meaning all rod cells, no cone cells. So it's like he's wearing night vision goggles all the time. He sees blobs, motion. He sees motion very well. He sees objects very poorly. She cannot see the difference between me and either one of you, but she sees motion very well. So when she sees something moving, anything moving is bad news to a sloth. So it's end of the branch, get to the end of the branch, and then bwang, the branch is going to hang down under the weight of the sloth. Now the cat is trying to come out to the end to get to the sloth. That's obviously not going to work. And if the sloth presses the issue to the point that the branch should break and they both fall 100 feet to the floor of the rainforest, the sloth will almost certainly survive and the cat will almost certainly not. The sloth is going to look over that cat and say, "Ah, ha," and back up the tree it goes. The one thing that can get to a sloth in the top of a tree is an eagle. The eagle isn't reliant on smell or temperature or the weight of the branch to support it, so the eagle can get to the sloth. But the sloth is camouflaged by moss and algae. When the sloth comes down, when the sloth is going to go to the bathroom, even though he's safe in the top of the tree, he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, and goes to the bathroom on the same pile that he always goes on. The reason for that was the subject to some debate for a number of years. Scientists sometimes start out with some pretty stupid ideas before they zero in on some correct ideas, or fail to. So the first idea was that a sloth comes down the tree to the bathroom because it's a neat animal. Come on, it's not the Adrian monk of the rainforest. Whoever would have thought that, right? Then the next idea was the sloth is fertilizing its own tree via its waste. Again, nonsense argument. If he goes to the bathroom from anywhere in the canopy of the tree, it's gonna land above the root system of the tree, so who cares how close he was to it when he let it go, right? So the actual reason why the sloth comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. Were you gonna take a turn holding?
Yeah.
Okay, let me transfer her over.
Yeah.
She transfers on her Snuggie. We say to her, night-night, baby. Night-night, Zoe. And then she moves across to her Snuggie just because she likes to grab onto something when we pick her up.
I think she's grabbing onto you, maybe.
Yeah, she is. And then she's going to want to hug up around your neck. And if you support her underneath right there, she'll just snuggle you right up. If the clamp down is the natural state, the relaxed state of a sloth, if she clamps down on you, just tap like this and she will release. Just tap and she'll release.
You want to get
The sloths are completely clamped down in trees and exerting no energy because their tendons are really tight in their hand and their forearm. So clamped down like that is the natural relaxed state of a sloth. That's why they can hang in the tree for days and days. They're exerting no energy at all. If a sloth's life ended while hanging in the tree, it wouldn't fall. It would continue to hang there until something rotted or until something knocked it loose. So that's pretty amazing design implement. So the actual reason that the sloth comes all the way down the tree, same side, is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. In the wild,
say that cough made her jump.
yeah, it does, and she hears it a lot because I had chemo 20 years ago,
Yeah.
so the allergies hit me in the lungs, not in the sinuses. Bleomycin therapy. So yeah, I'm not sick, not contagious, but you gotta listen to me cough.
You finished chemo about a year ago. So.
Oh yeah. So my hair took a year and a half to start to come back.
Yeah.
When your hair starts to come back, it's like soft, like silky baby hair. They tell you it can come back a different color, a different texture, whatever. Mine, I had just begun to despair that I would ever have hair again. And I am not like you, an attractive bald man. I have a Klingon ridge down the middle of my head, so I was not an attractive bald man. So I'm very happy to have hair at all.
Oh, yeah, you got a bunch of it, yeah.
And but yeah, it took a year and a half until I started to grow hair again.
Yeah.
So all hope is not lost, my brother.
Well, no, mine.
But
I was bald before the chemo. So
there are
yeah,
people who have
that's
been
not-
bald before chemo and have a full head of hair.
Oh,
after.
really? It came
Yeah,
back?
it has happened. It's not as common, but it has happened.
Yeah.
It depends a great deal on the type of chemo and the extent of it. Testicular cancer, when you get done with your 4th cycle of testicular cancer, you're about 50% of your natural body weight. So they're basically looking to extinguish every cell in you,
Yeah.
except your absolute core cells. And so it's pretty rough, but sort of the more aggressive chemo, the more effect
that
it
what
has on
yours
your hair.
was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This was lymphoma. So
Yeah.
different.
I'm not familiar with the different kinds, I just know what I had.
Hey, you
but,
know what you have, and you know
yeah,
what they
and I
did,
know
and
it was
you move on.
miserable, and I hope to not go back and praise the Lord.
That's
But,
right. That's it.
Yeah, but of course, these days I believe the Lord's still in the healing business. I can't find a scripture in the Bible that it ever says that He stopped healing people.
I don't know.
It's just I grew up Baptist, and the Baptists seem to think cessation of the gifts is a thing. I'm like, find a scripture to stand on, and we could have an intelligent discussion, but there's not one. So I live life a little differently now.
He's just here.
What's that?
He's just here.
Oh yeah. So her vision is horrible. So when she's relaxed, she'll lightly close her eyes like this, and she's just experiencing you by smell and hearing. And if you hum a little bit or talk, she'll like press her ear into your neck
Oh, really?
to experience your voice.
No.
No, she's asleep.
No.
No, she's wide awake. You can tell by her respiration that she's awake.
Really?
So,
She's not breathing much.
she's a sloth.
Yeah, that's not what
Yeah,
not no
they can breathe in slower than that. But so the reason the sloth comes all the way down the tree is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. So in the wild, not here, praise the Lord, sloths need moths and moths need sloths. There is a type of moth in the world called a sloth moth that lives nowhere on earth except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. Now, symbiotic, meaning beneficial to both sides of the equation, where parasitic would be beneficial to one, neutral or harmful to the other. But symbiotic. The benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moth. Specifically, the moth is eating the moss and algae that grow all in the sloth's fur, and it is then fertilizing that moss and algae via its waste. The benefit to the sloth is threefold mainly. Then there's some other ones that are in the weeds that we won't really talk about today. But the three main benefits to the sloth: one, more moss and more algae, more disguise from eagles.
So they're literally having moss coated when they're
Covering them, all over them.
Really?
Yes, all over them. The picture of a sloth in the wild is nasty looking.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. The second benefit to the sloth is that as the sloth grooms himself, he eats a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is the sloth's protein source. The third and primary benefit to the sloth is as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. The waste of the moths is where the sloth gets the bacteria colony that helps it to digest its food. It is a proven fact in the wild that if a sloth's moth colony fails to thrive, the sloth will starve 30 days later, not for lack of food, but for lack of ability to digest the food. Now in captivity, we don't need all these moths all over the sloth.
So what do you use in captivity?
In captivity, he does not need camouflage. There's no eagles in this room.
That's
He does not need protein. He gets 2 hard-boiled eggs a week. And they do not need the bacteria. Now, we have helpful gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives unless we take a long course of antibiotics or chemo or a couple other small things, but primarily antibiotics. If we never take antibiotics, we will never have to give a second thought to our gut bacteria colony. It will last forever. What interrupts a sloth's bacteria colony is cold temperature. So we keep these rooms 78 to 80 degrees. We never ever let a sloth get cold, and its gut bacteria colony will last throughout its life.
Huh.
And if it did have to, there are things we could do to address a shortage of bacteria, but it's not fun. But anyway, so in the wild, they'll have 100 to 150 moths and beetles living in their fur all of the time. I can't figure out how you could, it's just,
Yeah.
wow.
It's
But
not
in captivity, we don't need them.
Wow.
The sloths are crazy strong. They're obviously not stronger than a human. They only weigh 15 pounds. But pound for pound, they are much stronger than a person. Sloth can do a one-arm pull-up by any of its 4 arms and then hang there for a long time. But the hanging there is a matter of the nature that this is the relaxed state of the sloth. So the pulling up is raw strength. The hanging there is just the nature of a sloth. They have the 2-fingered sloth, not the 3. The 2-fingered sloth has 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs, and because they are often upside down, they have connective tissue. So whether they're hanging vertically upside down, horizontally upside down, whether they're right side up, laying on their side, back, or belly, which they do all 3, their organs will remain in the position and orientation that they are meant to be in. So they don't suffer from, like if we were on an inversion table for a couple of hours, it's going to put so much back pressure on our diaphragm, we'll run short of breath, in addition to all our blood running to our head. But a sloth is designed to be in any position at all.
Get his her hooks out of my back, kind of move them over just a little bit.
that, she's up there.
Just tap.
Okay, there we
Yeah, there you go.
go. That's a little bit. I couldn't reach it on that.
Yeah. So the clamp down is their relaxed state, and sometimes she loses focus and
Yeah, well, that
tightens up,
makes
and then you got
sense.
just reminder. But our baby sloths here, she's not technically, she's 17 months, she's not really still a baby. But our baby sloths are raised in an ambassador program. The guy who raises these baby sloths is a doctor of veterinary medicine who's been doing it for about 30 years. And none of his sloths were ever taken from the rainforest. The generation 0 of his sloths were animals were too injured to return to the rainforest. And his ambassador animals were at least 4, 5, 6, 7 generations removed from the rainforest. These particular sloths generationally are further removed from the rainforest than I am from the American Revolution. So I always do a disclaimer every time I'm on a live. I don't know if I'm on live right now or not. Looks like I'm on maybe YouTube. But the sloths that are here are many generations removed from the rainforest, and each sloth only does 2 hours of encounters per day, and they have a 3-hour break between their hour 1 and their hour 2. The normal sleeping waking cycle of a sloth in the daytime, they take about a 2-hour nap and then they're about 2 hours awake. In the nighttime, they take about a 3-hour nap and then about 1 hour awake. And every time the sloth wakes up, it eats and then it relaxes and then it goes back to sleep. So we're careful about their normal life patterns, and sloths are overly stressed by too many people. So I also always say, if you're looking at a sloth encounter, please look before you book. If you see a place that's booking 8 and 10 hours a day with a sloth, that is the love of money, not the love of sloths. And the government of Costa Rica is working really hard against sloth encounters. Many of them that are down there in Central America, they're taking animals from the rainforest and treating them in such manner that they make maximum profit, but the animal's lifespan is only about a month. And ours here, they are our pets. We love them. They are ethically sourced and ethically treated, and these sloths are going to live probably 50 years. In the rainforest, they believe that a sloth's lifespan is approximately 20, but of course that's a theory, not a fact. No one has ever observed a wild sloth from birth to geriatrics, so no one could honestly tell you that information for sure. But slothconservation.org and slothconservancy.net and the government of Costa Rica tell you that if you take one from the wild and put it into an encounter, average lifespan 1 to 2 months. And the sloths can live 50. The Smithsonian had one that was 49. There's 2 in Germany that are over 50. There's one in Japan in China that's reputed to be very, very old, but it's China, who knows. And the breeder that we deal with has a female who is over 35 and still reproductive. And no one can tell you for sure if it's true of a sloth, but if it's true of a sloth, the way it's true of most other large mammals, that females don't reproduce in the last third to half of their life, that would indicate, right on the end there, just tap right, there you go. That would indicate that they could still have quite a long time.
Let's get your Huggy Bear, because you're heavy.
She is heavy, isn't she? Come here, baby girl. Oh my, she's gonna hug up on me. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So Donna is my wife. Donna is this sloth person.
Yeah.
So much so that if Donna's in the room, she won't go to anybody else. So that's why Donna doesn't do the encounters. But that's because Donna was held by Donna for upwards of 3,000 hours. Smell and hearing.
So she recognizes the specific smell of her.
Yep, specific smell and hearing. So all of the sloths know what I smell like and they know what I sound like. I never use any different cologne. It's pretty boring, but Dracar Noir, that's all I ever wear. And they know what I smell like in the morning. They know what I smell like in the afternoon in the summertime. And they know my voice. My voice might not be great for the camera with kind of monotonous sort of a voice, but the sloths like it just fine. And when I open their door and I say, "Hey, Flash," or "Hey, Zoe," they're like climbing up, coming to get to us. Because they only do 2 hours of encounters a day, it's the high point of their day, not what they're required to do. And if on a particular occasion they just don't feel like playing, it's okay, I got more sloths. And I've had a bad day before, just that I didn't feel like doing whatever. There's no repercussion
So
to the sloth.
how do they act how do you know they don't want to do it?
Well, normally when I open her door, she comes flying up out of the hammock and crawls across the branches, and she'll be hanging on this branch right here, stretching her arms out, going, which means hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't feel like it, she'll just lay there lazy. But I think I've only ever seen this sloth like twice in its life. Have a day it didn't feel like playing. This guy, sometimes he has a day that he doesn't feel like playing. His room goes up there 25 feet, and there's people on the other side of the glass. I don't know if somebody's loud up there or something overnight. He might not feel like getting up in the morning.
This one doesn't go all the way up, does it?
That one doesn't go all the way up. This one goes up 25 feet. But he goes all the way up there, and there's a hammock over your head where he sleeps. And they have their inside and they have their outside. And if he If he doesn't feel like playing, I'm sure not climbing up there to get him.
Yeah,
So if he doesn't feel like coming down, he just stays up.
that's neat.
And it's all good. If he doesn't feel like playing, that's fine.
And so if it's warm enough outside, you can have that open.
Yeah, it has to be at least 70 for him to go outside.
Yeah, yeah. That's neat. Did you want to close that?
And she wants to go and see what's going on
Oh,
over there.
that's it.
Yeah.
And so you think he's probably in the hammock?
Oh, I don't know. If there's a lump in the hammock, he's in it. Otherwise, he's
Yeah, He's kind
outside.
of hanging out. a little
Yeah, he's
bit.
right there. That's Flash.
You want to see? You can see.
Oh, there he is, yeah. Now, he's older, right?
He's 6.
He's 6.
Hey, Flash. What you know, baby boy? Hey, Bubba.
He looks a little bigger, doesn't he? Yeah.
Longer.
He's coming down.
Very
Yeah,
dramatic.
So that's it, huh?
that's it. Hey, Flash is all he needs. I can't eat my ass, though.
All right, that's Flash. He's coming down. Take your time,
Looks
Flash.
like he's coming out in the kitchen.
Oh, so he'll actually come into here too then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He knows this is where the people are. He likes to be with people.
Oh, he's got one he can go to.
Very cute.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Hello.
He's much bigger.
Wow. He gets there and ready.
Oh, yeah. Hey, baby boy. What you doing, buddy? Just want to come see us.
Oh, he won't squash like that.
Now, is he still 2 or he's got 3 on the back? So
All
is this-
sloths have 3 on the back.
Two-
2-fingered have 2 on the front. 3-fingered have 3 on the
Okay, so
front.
it's just the front that is different.
Yep. And they're very different animals, but people distinguish them by the number of claws on the front feet.
He definitely knows your voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, how do you know when they need to go to the bathroom?
Well, they don't tell us. They just go.
So you don't have any control over it, they just
No,
go
just-
and clean it up?
See how there's only shavings in one spot in here, because
So
that's
that's-
the only place he's ever going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay, so that makes it easy then, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Unlike our cat, which goes wherever it
All
wants.
right, now get on the cat. The cat does that maliciously.
Yeah, so you're not malicious like a cat, are you? But they don't, he said before, he doesn't really like having his belly rubbed, is that right?
No, they don't.
Huh.
Neither do I. Not by a stranger, anyway.
Look at that, that's an upside down sloth. You can tell he's a sloth in that picture.
Stand a little further back.
And
Stand back here and take
Oh,
a picture.
really?
now he's
Now
leaving.
he's going back up, isn't he? Let's wait till he comes back down.
Animal reptiles because he is a herbivore, so he eats only. Thank you. Yep. This is an armadillo. So this is a 3-banded armadillo. His name is Baku. Short for Baku.
And you got all kinds of animals here.
Oh, yeah, we got to pass 11.
Armadillos in Texas are out on the road. They've been hit by cars or something. Those are 9-banded armadillo, which can actually have anywhere between 7 or 11 bands. And they close partially, so they can kind of fall up.
All on my head.
9-banded armadillo is the only one that can truly fall up, and its head goes next to its tail like that. You can feel it.
Where are y'all from?
Severe.
Oh, it's Herbal.
Severe, yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I lived in an RV in 2009 and 10, and we were in Suburban. Took me a while to figure out where I was because everybody was saying Suburban. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought it was Seaverville.
So you're,
Oh.
And we visited a church there, and the pastor was giving a sermon, and they were all in 2010. which really only works in Tennessee. And it was exciting. He was announcing that even though they had just built their building 1 year earlier, they were undertaking to build a new sanctuary bigger than the whole place, and they were going to use the current sanctuary for their children's space. And they did, and it was really cool.
Which church was it?
Oh gosh, I think it was called Crossways or Crossroads or
The one
something
that's
like
gone
that.
now, the one that's up in the hill.
I think that it still exists. I think it moved to build a bigger campus. I'm not sure of that though.
Well, there's
It was
pathways.
Pathways, that's it, yeah.
Okay, Pathways, yeah, that's real close to our house.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
They bought more land, they're getting.
they bought more land. There's some-
Well, he had a cool story. He was like, he went to the bank to talk about building a church, and he didn't have an appointment. He got there and they told him, "Oh, the board's sitting waiting for you." And he's like, "No, I don't have an appointment." They're like, "Yeah, they knew you'd be coming," and like just the Lord showed it to him. And so he went in there like, "All right, here's some building plans you can use. Here's what you need. Go forth and prosper." And he's like, "No, I mean, I don't have pledge cards. I don't." He's like, "You're good." And it was a year to the day later that he was back to talk to them, and he had come up with an idea that they could build in stadium seating and seat 78 more people. And the bank said, "Well, we haven't heard from the Lord about this in advance, so give us 2 or 3 days to think about it." And he came back 2 or 3 days later, and they told him that they felt like what the Lord had for him was to build a new facility bigger than the whole thing, and they were ready to finance it. So it was pretty cool.
They bought more land and
And
everything.
they've got an even bigger piece of land
Yeah, they-
now.
That's
Yeah.
good. Seemed like they were good and genuine people. I enjoyed that.
His father passed away a while back, and his mother just recently passed away too.
That's too bad.
Yeah. This is really something.
Isn't it?
I would like to get a picture of my sloth with,
Oh, you have to explain that.
yeah.
Barry's a magician and he has a trick with a sloth.
Oh, all right.
And he brought the silk and he wants to put the silk up.
Yeah, I need to hold this next so his Flash finally endorses our sloth picture.
I don't know the Flash does commercials with, so.
Flash, would you be willing for me to stand beside you with a sloth picture?
Yeah.
In video and picture
You
both.
want video or picture?
Look at there, he's reaching out for it. He really wants it.
Now you're on video.
Oh, look at there. This is Flash, and he loves our sloth and sack trick. Don't you? That was
It's
him
like he
saying
wants to get
yes.
into the act.
Oh, yes. What do you think? That's one good-looking sloth.
Hang on, do it again.
All right. What do you think, Flash? Is that a good sloth or what? I'm too loud, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, you're fine. I'm always loud.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
You feel better?
Well, you're gonna have to send us a video and we'll post it on
Yeah.
our social media.
More than happy.
GaryMitchellProducts.com. That's his website.
You already. You said this is going YouTube or something.
This is YouTube right now, but if you send it over to us, Kevin will be happy to post it.